Go ahead.
I think if it's being called into question whether or not, Vice President Kamala Harris is qualified, because you mentioned that prior to her pick, President Joe Biden stated that he will pick a woman and he will pick a woman of color, and you feel as though that undermines her qualifications. Well, my question is, what qualifications does Donald Trump have to be the president of the United States? If Kamala Harris is a DEI hire, then if we're being very honest, Donald Trump is a hire of white privilege, because he's not qualified to sit at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. He does not have the qualifications to be the president of the United States. And to be quite honest, Kamala Harris is overqualified to have her position. And so I think that this question of whether or not she should be situated there doesn't make any sense. I'll let you finish.
It has to be about a goal of saying everybody should end up in the same place. And since we didn't start in the same place, some folks might need more. Equitable distribution. Giving resources based on equity, understanding that we fight for equality, but we also need to fight for equity, understanding not everyone starts out at the same place. So there's a big difference between equality and equity. Equality suggests often everybody should get the same thing. Well, that often assumes everybody started out in the same place, as opposed to equity, which is everyone should end up in the same place. And if you then understand not everybody started out in the same place, you understand some people need more. So we all end up in the same place, right? We are proud of the fact that equity is one of our guiding principles. Proud of the fact that we understand equality is important, but not everybody starts out on the same base. We see that people in our country are having an experience that is not equal. So when we talk about the work we are doing here together, it is recognizing that and being guided by this principle of what we must do in the spirit and in the interest of equity. To put equity firmly at the center of our economic policy. But no, if you look at the reality of who will benefit from certain policies, when you take into account that they're not starting at the same place and they're not starting on equal footing, it will directly benefit Black children, Black families, Black homeowners.
This is who Black people want, like some Black people who are trying to shame you into supporting, into voting for. And I just let you listen to about 1 minute and 51 seconds of Kamala giving her case about, her socialistic style platform, honestly. And the reason I'm taking this as her platform is because when I look on her official website, she doesn't have a platform yet. So all I can go off of is past commentary that she have made on various political issues. And from that alone, I won't vote for Kamala Harris. I don't care how y'all package up socialism or socialists. I won't vote for them, right? And at the time of making this video, I'm going to give you a little snippet of what are my main concerns with Kamala Harris, right? Because Black folks don't seem to understand that Kamala's not good for this country. Kamala's going to give us more of the same. But because they dress her up or they put a Black-looking woman as the representative of these ideas, Black people are just going to go vote for it. Kamala Harris is a Trojan horse for socialism. A Trojan horse for communism, even, depending on what policies you want to pick from her. And at the end, all she has to do is, it's going to help Black folks. How it helps the Black people that did the work, right, that was able to pay off their student loans without government assistance or without student loan forgiveness, and then you forgive the student loan debt of other Black folks who didn't do their due diligence, who didn't do the research up front to realize, okay, I'm going to go in a career of this, and I'll be able to pay off my student loan debt in 5 years if I pay this amount of money a month. How's it fair to those Black people who are responsible, who took charge of their futures, who took control, who had agency and understanding that, hey, with freedom comes responsibility. But it seemed like in this day and age, people want to be more taken care of than actually want freedom. They pretend they want freedom. They want freedom to do whatever they want, but they don't want the freedom to be responsible for the actions that they take. Venezuela had an election, right? And Venezuela is a perfect example of what is the future could be if you elect Kamala Harris. All right, Venezuela election. Venezuela seemingly was headed to elect the opposition leader Ed Gonzalez in a landslide against the deeply unpopular dictator Nicolas Maduro. The dictatorship waited until past midnight and deep into the night to announce a Maduro victory with a razor thin margin, 51%, with 109% of the vote counted. Weird. Maduro has yet to release the official tallies from the 30,000 polling stations. What comes next is right up to the tyrant's playbook. The regime will make a move to lock down the internet and engage in some kind of surprise chaos is likely to ensue. And their virtually online army with plenty of non-Venezuela troll farms will get to work while the actual army is forced to stay inside their barracks. But the armed militia will be out in full force to support Maduro and prevent any street protests. Whatever happens next, the people of Venezuela will continue to suffer even if the army decided to force Maduro out. This happened before in, I think, Venezuela's history. But this is an election result, right? Because one thing with socialists is once you put them in the office, it's hard to get them out. And the idea that Trump is similar to this, because at the end of the day, they like to call Trump a fascist, but they don't understand fascism is a form of socialism. Everything they point at Trump, oh, Trump's a fascist, he's a Nazi. All these things are derived from socialism. Nazi means National Socialist. Fascism, this is fascism. Maduro calls himself a socialist. So I don't want to hear any, oh, that's not real socialism. Well, Maduro thinks it is. Maduro's a real socialist. But here you are about to elect a candidate that speaks in the same language as how socialists in Venezuela got in. All right? You ready for the timeline? Because this is the timeline of Kamala Harris if you put her in office. Venezuela's timeline. 1992 became the third richest country in the hemisphere. 5 years later, became the second largest purchasers of F-150s. 4 years after that, voted for a socialist president for income inequality. Kenny, that sounds a lot like what Kamala Harris is pushing. Exactly. Kamala also pushed, and she endorses universal health care. Private health care is completely socialized. 2004, 3 years later after you elected a socialist president. All higher education becomes free, right? Bernie Sanders, like, end of the day, it's been tried before. And I don't understand why people like to try old ideas in a repackaged entity like Kamala Harris. This stuff don't work. I look throughout history. If you're any student of history, you look back and be like, yo, this stuff don't work. Socialism is slavery. That's one thing. So these black Democrats that see here voting for this stuff, voting for socialism, oh, you want to go back to slavery then? Because this is slavery. What's the point of working your fruit? Like, you work for that labor, right? You put the labor in, and the government gets the benefit off your fruit. Socialists brand a private ownership of guns, so you can't resist their armed militia when you want to protest in the street, and they know you can't do nothing to them. Bernie Sanders praised their American dream. That's what he praised. Anyone who's been to Venezuela, there's a reason why they're leaving, right? Because in socialism, everyone's poor but the politicians. But they want to act like, oh my God, these 1%ers, they have all the wealth. Well, you gave them the wealth. They didn't put a gun to your head and say, give me your money like the government can. That's what socialism is. Socialism is they use force to get all the money. Capitalism is they use persuasion to get all the money. Hey, look, I got this product, I got this service. Look what this service can do for you. Look what this product can do for you. You value the product more than the dollar in your hand, and you give the capitalist your money, and the capitalists give you a service. Socialist is they put a gun to your head, or they use government authority and force that money out of you. Before the money even hits your bank account, they took the taxes away from you. But you want to agree with socialism. The dream may sound nice, the marketing may sound nice, but socialists are fraudulent by nature. You put up this picturesque vision. Oh, look how everything's going to be. Unarmed citizens massacred by their own government in 2019, 2017. The Constitution and elections are suspended. Once you put a socialism in, you created a monarchy. essentially, in your country of politicians. And you know the funny part is, I'll say all this, and you'll get a white liberal. I don't know why I said white, but you'll get a liberal arguing with you in the comment section talking about it's not real socialism, it's not real communism. But every self-proclaimed socialist, socialist that attempted to enact the ideal socialism always deform into exactly what's going on in Venezuela. They have to use force because at the end of the day, there's no incentive. What are the incentives of someone who has the ability to be a high achiever, make a lot of money for the government and himself, but he doesn't do it because there's no point if the government's going to take 90%. But then when I make the argument that socialism is slavery, and if you voted for socialism, you're essentially asking to be put in to essentially be a government slave. You're gonna say I'm exaggerating. You're gonna say that, oh, that's not real socialism. Check out this clip from a Venezuela influencer.
A mí no hay nada que me dé más arrechera que un maldito comunista de primer mundo. No tiene ni puta idea de lo que pasa en Nicaragua, no tiene ni puta idea de lo que pasa en Venezuela, pero te viene a explicar a ti, como ciudadano de esos países, lo que sucede, porque ellos sí saben. Unos hijueputas desde Italia, desde Suiza, desde Francia, desde España, que te vienen a decir a ti lo que es el comunismo y por qué es bueno. ¿Sabes qué es bueno? Que tú, maldito comunista, te calles la puta jeta. Cuando pases hambre, ahí me vienes a hablar a mí de comunismo.
I know all the Spanish speakers in my audience probably just heard her cursing a lot, but I'm sorry, but that is exactly what I see, right? And the black community is for the most part is ignorant about the realities of socialism. They're ignorant to the realities of what government can and cannot do for you, and universal health care, privatizing all this stuff. It's not possible for the government to do all the things that it claims to do. And it makes these promises, just like the Democrats, right? Oh, we'll do something for you. Then they get into power. They don't do nothing for the black community. And they put the black community on the shelf for 4 years. Then they come back and ask for your vote again. It's the same way a socialist will say stuff to get into power. And once they're in power and they enact these policies, everyone's just equally poor. We all don't start off on the same place, but they want us to end up in the same place. Can you make everyone rich? For all my black people that want to vote for socialist Kamala Harris? No, you can't make everyone rich. Can you make everyone a billionaire without destroying your buying power of your currency? No, you cannot. This is why reparations is such as it's not a practical idea. Sorry, you cannot enact reparations not at the same income that y'all want. Y'all want every black person to get $5 million. Y'all crazy as hell. That's never gonna happen. But they'll promise you that though. Because this is what they want. They want power. They want the government big enough where it can essentially take over. A tyrant can take over. And this is why they say socialism is a path to communism. Because of all it takes is one communist to get into power in a socialist system, you get communism instantly. Because the socialists did all the groundwork in convincing people to give to the government, to give most of their income to the government, to trust the government, to give more powers to the government. And once the government is big enough and has enough power in your life, all it takes is one communist to get in there, boom. Socialists already set the system up. And that's how brittle socialism is to keep dictators from gaining power. As much as they love to claim that Donald Trump is one, Donald Trump is not one. No matter how much your imagination feels that he is. And this is the problem with a lot of voters. Right? You got people, right? Kamala Harris is for open borders, right? 97% of the residents voted for Biden-Harris. Residents of Clinton Hill, New York, are fuming after a shelter for illegal migrants in their neighborhood. They say the shelters make them unsafe. 97% of the residents voted Biden-Harris, and they're probably going to vote for Harris again, right? But Harris, she doesn't want them not to come over the border, right? The same way that the black women in Chicago are complaining about how the migrants are getting all these government benefits that they paid for, the migrants didn't pay into it, and the black dude looked at her and said, "Who you voted for?" And everyone started laughing because they know she voted for Brandon Johnson. The person responsible for all these illegals coming here, the person responsible for getting their kids pushed out of their rec centers so they can be housing centers for illegal immigrants. But hey, they want to say, vote for Project 2025. Where? What Project 2525? What you're talking about? This is what happened when you let ignorant people talk on the comment section. But hey, I let y'all talk. Because I asked, hey, what reason? I asked the people in one of my Kamala videos, what reason is there to vote for Kamala Harris for me? They say, they didn't give me no policy as usual because Kamala's not running on no policy. She's running on identity politics, and then you want to get mad when conservatives criticize her for doing that. This is why we call her DEI hire, because the only reason she wants you to vote for her is because she's a black-looking woman. That's the only reason. But if I ask you a policy, you can't name me one. But then when I bring up old clips she used to say, y'all gonna say, oh, that's not her current platform. What is her current platform? Because not even the people who support Kamala Harris know her current platform. And then when you point this out to these Kamala supporters that she has no platform on her official website, they tell her she just started running like 2 weeks ago. She didn't have her platform up that quick. Mind you, Kamala was a senator. That means she has some policy preferences already. She couldn't just put up her old record as her 2019. Oh wait, they deleted it off of GovTrack. She was running as a 2020 presidential election, and you tell me that she couldn't just reuse the platform she was running on 2020 as her current platform now? Nope. But then you're going to try to put a fake policy platform on my candidate, Donald Trump. Donald Trump's agenda, Donald Trump's policy platform is called Agenda 47. This is a warning to all the black liberals, the black Democrats in my comment section that's going to come on this video with me criticizing Kamala Harris again. Project 2025 is not Donald Trump's platform for the last damn time. I don't care how much times your Democratic massa keeps telling you that is Donald Trump's platform. It's not. Because I'm starting to get tired of this misinformation y'all spewing. And y'all try to fearmonger off of Project 2025, and y'all don't even tell me what part of Project 2025 scares you. Yeah, you. I'm not scared. Look, I make decisions for my own life. I trust my judgment more than I'll trust the opinions and feelings of other people. Because I did the research, I know all the risks that comes with it, and I still made the decision to vote Donald Trump. Because I'd rather have Donald Trump than a socialist like Kamala Harris, who wants income inequality. You don't deserve to make the same money as me because you didn't make the same decisions as me. I chose a profession that gives me a certain amount of money per month based on the skill set that I bring to that company's portfolio, right? You choose to work on or didn't work on or didn't achieve a skill. Instead, y'all focus on getting these degrees like it's going to help you make more money when you get paid for your skills, not for your college degree. And then you get mad when a kid like me, college dropout, makes more money than you, but you had a PhD in communications and African studies. I don't know what degrees y'all get in nowadays. But they're going to vote for Kamala Harris. Oh my gosh, she's more qualified. She's overqualified. How you're more qualified when you've never been president before? It seemed like for the last 3 years, Kamala has been sitting on her hands just campaigning, not really implementing any policy, right? And then when we do say she was involved in some way within Biden's administration, y'all said she wasn't involved or she wasn't responsible for that. Like, make this shit up. Y'all literally trying to create a hype train behind Kamala Harris because you know Kamala Harris is nothing but flash, no substance. At least Donald Trump, when he's talking ish, at least he was doing something. Hey, look, the economy was doing good under Donald Trump. Donald Trump's best season was 2019. Then a freak accident happened called COVID, and it derailed Donald Trump's economy. And Biden had the opportunity to capitalize on that. 2021 could have been it would have been undisputed that Biden would have been reelected if he managed to come back a little bit better. But just like the pulling out of Afghanistan, he fudged that up. Highest inflation rate in 20 years during 2021, 2022, 2021. Highest inflation rate, 2022, around April, I believe. Cost of living is higher, 20% higher than it was the previous administration. And doesn't this validate my argument? Hey, look, the only people who get rich during in socialism is the government. If you're not working in the government, you're going to be poor. We're all going to end up in the same place. That's for sure. If you elect Kamala Harris. She's going to try all these government policies that's already been tried and proven already. That's already been shown not to work. Already have shown to create hyperinflation. All you have to do is look at Argentina before Javier got in there. That's why I study history, because I'm like, there ain't no way this is some brand new spanking idea. Oh, it wasn't. In Argentina, they had rent controls. In Argentina, they had price controls for electricity. Price controls for electricity. That means people can use more energy than they need to pay for, and it'll call a shortfall. It destroyed Argentina's GDP. Inflation was through the roof in Argentina. That's why when Javier got in and he started cutting government programs, he started cutting down the government, inflation went down. Because government spending, if government has to spend money to create, let's say, jobs, it's artificial growth. And the punishment or the cost for artificial growth is inflation. That is the cost. Anytime the government say, I want to do something for you, I want the government to be involved, I want the government to do this, that, and the third. Just think about in the back of your head, okay, we're going to experience inflation because of this. Because that's the cost for government benefits, inflation. And knowing this is one of the reasons why I'm a conservative. I have that video if you want to check it out. I think it's my trailer video. This is one of the reasons I became conservative. When I saw that correlation, hey, every government program inadvertently creates inflation. Then I look at student loan forgiveness. Hey, it contributed to 27% of inflation. Wow. So if Kamala runs on the same platform as Biden, I'm going to forgive your student loan debt. All you have to, in the back of everyone's head, you should be thinking, oh, inflation is going to increase again. That's all you should be thinking about. Because there's no such thing as free in this world. That idea separates the adults from the children. But I digress. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What are your thoughts about some of my concerns with Kamala Harris? Do you agree with these concerns? Do you have your own concerns? I'd like to hear them in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I really appreciate you guys watching to the end of the video. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.